Purificame, lléname de paz, purificame, Madre de luz, acompáñame, lléname de amor, acompáñame, Madre de luz, ven, recuérdame, todo uno es, todo uno es, todo uno es, todo uno es.
Mother of light, the one self-existent, self-sufficient, all-knowing, all-powerful presence. Oh, this one divine principle, this one divine impulse does for us absolutely everything. And what it does for us, it must do through us. So I call forth a greater receptivity to this light, this power, this one divine principle, which revitalizes, which inspires, which ignites the light of eternality within all of creation, within each one. That each one here is an individualized expression of this eternal light which always seeks greater expression by means of each one. This is what we celebrate. This is the truth of being, that each one as a center of this light and love and vibration is completely whole and perfect. So I speak my word for each one, and I claim a greater receptivity to the divine birthright, to the divine inheritance of the unity consciousness, as this one light unifies itself with each one just by our recognition of it, just by thinking of it. It increases the vibration of good and the consciousness of good. And this is what each one is in truth: a light, a perfect light of expression in and through every place, in every realm, in every moment. I celebrate this light within the center of all creation and within each one. And I pour forth my thanksgiving now for the heightened awareness of the vitality and the renewal of this light in all life forms. And I release my word to the law of mind, which acts upon my word as a new creation, ready to be made manifest right now in this moment and forever in the light. And so it is.
Mother of light, purify me now, fill me up with peace, purify me now. Mother of light, always be with me, fill me up with love, always be with me. Mother of light, always remind me everything is one, everything is one, everything is one, everything is one. Happy Mother's Day. It's always great to remember Mom. My mom passed away about 3 years ago, and I inherited this wooden bowl, and it was my childhood salad bowl. Big thing, right? I remember every night the Caesar salad. It was like romaine. She just loved making Caesar salad with this bowl, and so I got this bowl, and all the lacquer was all coming off and everything, and I hung out with it for about a year or two. I thought, I'm not going to do anything with this. Then finally one day, I had this vision. I took about 4 hours and I sanded all the lacquer off it. And I oiled it up, and I put it on my kitchen counter, and I filled it with food, and said, this is Mom reminding me to eat. That's my Mother's Day story. Was early fall, and I woke from a dream of angel voices in the wind, and the story they told I'll tell you now. So close your eyes and we shall begin. A young girl asked her mama one day, what makes the world go round? She replied, 'tis love, my dear, and when this you know, your heart will be found. She believed her, set her course to sail to freedom like a bird, with love as her compass. If she ever got lost, her mama would sing to her these words. Yea, though the seas may rage with storm, and fires of doom may burn, I will ride a trail of wind and tears, and I will come for you at dawn. And when this maiden came of age, she loved a young man full of dreams. He said, I must go and find myself, but I'll tell you this before I leave. Yea, though the seas may rage with storm, and fires of doom may burn, I will ride a trail of wind and tears, and I will come for you at dawn. Her life was full and great work she had done, with children of her own. And when her daughter was afraid one day, she sang to to her, you are not alone. For though the seas may rage with storm and fires of doom may burn, I will ride a trail of wind and tears, and I will come for you at dawn. And though this tale is short and sweet, like rain that settles in the tree, where'er you go, no matter what you do, may there be wind that shakes the raindrops free. May there be wind that shakes the raindrops free. For though the seas may rage with storm and fires of doom may burn, I will ride a trail of wind and tears, and I will come for you at dawn, and I will come for you at dawn, and I will come for you at dawn. Barbara Juniper.
That was amazing and beautiful. We're all got leaky eyes. Good morning. Good morning. So North, all the moms that have passed on are right there. So Bodie told the story of the salad bowl about his mom, and I want to tell you the story about my mom and the roses. So my mom, which many of you know, Doris Jones, who passed away in 2008 in December, so it's almost 10 years. Every spring since then, I have put a teaspoon of her ashes on my roses. And so every year, she's gotten to be made into roses. Okay, isn't that the best? So, as is our custom, all the moms get to take roses from my garden and take a bit of my mom with you. And I want to thank Marsha for just building this beautiful, beautiful altar around the roses. And so you're all welcome to them. So our traditional honoring of mothers, would all the moms please stand for recognition? Yay! Yes. Now, you stay standing, and all of the adoptive moms, the aunties who are moms, and all of the dads who had to be moms too, would you please stand? Yes! And now, would the grandmothers please remain standing? And now would the great-grandmothers remain standing? Woo-hoo! No great-greats? All right, well, feel yourselves loved and appreciated. So before we start, let's just make sure that all of our mother energy is with us. So I would like you now to call in by name any of your female relations that you would like with you today, whether or not they have passed on. Anybody, all of your mom energy people. So let's just start. Doris and Susan and Nina and Helen and Leela. Emma. Oh, well, it just got real crowded, didn't it? So here we are. We're celebrating this whole year. Oh, gosh, thank you. I'm out of practice, aren't I? We have here at the corners of the room sweethearts from our membership team, and they have packets of information for you. If you are here for the first time or back after a long time, or if you just don't have information, please raise your hands in a moment. In these envelopes is a blue card, and if you give it back to one of these, you'll get a little gift at the end of service. So anyone here for the first time or back after a long time, there we go. Here's one in back there. Oh, I'm so happy that you're all here. And okay, good. And I would love to meet you personally after the service. All right. 100 years of Science of Mind we are celebrating, and today we are celebrating 5,000 to 30,000 years of life-giving ideas about the relationship of the divine to its creation. This is what we celebrate today, the absolute certainty of the divine feminine principle. So my title is this, Relying on the Mother. I know. So whether we call this all-pervading energy, God, Goddess, Spirit, we call it love intelligence, we call it energy, we call it Allah, any number of names of this all-pervading spirit, it contains all qualities. And that means it contains all of the qualities that we think of as masculine, and all of the qualities that we think of as feminine, and everything in between. And because it is generous to an infinite degree, we have all of it. Each one of us has the divine masculine qualities, each one of us has the divine feminine qualities, we all have it all. So I want us to think about each one of those because they work together perfectly. And of course today we are focusing on the divine feminine. So the feminine qualities that I think of are nurturing, caring, enfolding, the peace of like Madre de Luz, just sitting in repose and being available. And I think of the masculine energy as going forth, that arrow energy, pointing to what it wants and going for it. And when you think about it, the behavior of the egg and the sperm is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Now the sperm swim like crazy. I am going for her. And what does the egg do? She is sitting there welcoming the first suitor. And that's what happens to make us. It is both of those energies coming together. So today, we are celebrating that welcoming energy of the Divine Mother that is also nurturing and caring. So I'm going to read to you a paragraph from this wonderful book by Jean Chenot de Bolin, and it's called Crossing to Avalon, and it talks about the energy of the mother that all of us have. So I don't want any of you guys to feel left out. A person does not have to be a biological mother in order to be an initiate into the maternal aspect of the Godhead. It comes through one's own embodied maternal and feminine nature. through which one feels one's kinship with women, with animals, and with nature. Her, capital H, her psyche resides in one's body, and her wisdom grows out of an instinctual knowledge of what to do with her hands and body to soothe, to comfort, or to take charge of a situation that calls upon this in her. One taken by the divine feminine responds to a woman in labor, an animal with a paw caught in a trap, a woman in hysterical grief, a terrified child too young to understand what is happening, with a maternal authority that others instinctively recognize. When she takes charge by doing whatever needs to be done, mother has arrived. That is what we celebrate today. And this is what has been celebrated for 30,000 years. This beautiful, beautiful picture of the goddess of Willendorf was created 28,000 to 25,000 BCE. That's at least 30,000 years ago. Hundreds of these little figurines were found in what is now Lower Austria in the Old Stone Age. They're about 4.5 inches high, which fits perfectly in the palm of a hand. They did not have feet, so they either were held or stood up in soft sand. They were not meant to be on their own. They were meant in some way to be revered. So we can see that the parts of the body associated with childbearing and nurturing are emphasized. And this is just one of many, many, many kinds of Stone Age figurines that have big hips, big breasts, and remind us that when the mother has arrived, it is the nurturing energy. And so we imagine that, anthropologists imagine that the idea of the goddess dominated spiritual life until about 5,000 years ago. So that's a long time in our ancestral consciousness, what we all bring forward into the present, this life of the mother that bore new life. I mean, babies came out of female people, and crops came out of Mother Earth. And so all of this new life was revered as coming from the Divine Mother. So this is what we celebrate today, and I want us to just feel that mother energy around us. This, by the way, is my High Holy Day, my personal High Holy Day, which now is accompanied by my wedding anniversary, which was like 12 days ago. So my High Holy Days come right together. That's wonderful for the calendar. So this one is the sleeping goddess of Malta. Malta has many of these big, big, big round goddess figures. This was much more recent in the Neolithic period, and they were found underground in the hypogeum, which we don't exactly know what it was used for, but maybe dream healing. Maybe this is the goddess dream healing those who sat with her. Maybe she is dreaming an inspiration for those who sat with her, or maybe it was used as a tomb and she is awaiting the rebirth of the next generation. But it suggests that sitting and welcoming presence. The body, once again, emphasizing the nurturing and childbearing aspects. So the great goddess is here for you still. And that's what I want us all to feel today. There's as much feminine energy as you can possibly hold and process through your life. So let's think about what she does, okay? All right. So here's the goddess, and what she does is she nurtures creation. She makes it and she nurtures it. So what does this mean to really nurture creation? I've got a few things that came to me. The first is caretaking. You don't have to do life alone. If you are trying to do life alone, you've got way too much male energy going on. We look at all the people just in this room. We're all here to help one another. And that is the goddess working through each one of us to caretake. So it would be really wonderful if each one of us said, I'm going to say this, and then if you want to, you can say it with me. I am willing to be loved and cared for. I am willing to be loved and cared for. How does that feel? It feels pretty good, I think. And if you can say that without going into specifics, I'm willing to be loved and cared for by blah, 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 just I am willing to be loved and cared for, then what happens is that divine energy, that caretaking energy that is all around us has a chance of getting into your life. So many of us were in a household where our biological mom, this wasn't me, but I know many of us, our biological mom wasn't particularly nurturing and caretaking, and that's probably because she didn't get it. But we can change a pattern of a family. We can change the pattern. If it's not nurturing and loving, we can start by saying, I am willing to be loved and cared for, and absolutely feel the arms of the goddess come around us. It's pretty easy to do that when you snuggle into bed at night, to just feel the arms of the goddess come around you. So, the goddess is calling. That's probably it. She's probably saying, listen to what's happening. So the goddess nurtures creation by providing. So I believe that each one of us has a mission in life. We have a job. We have many jobs, but we have something that only can be done by us. And as we land on this planet, we are given things to support us in manifesting the life that we took birth to achieve. So the providing principle means that you are given things that support you in accomplishing your tasks on earth. And some of these tasks may be very challenging, but if you do the first thing and say, I am willing to be loved and cared for, you will be given and divinely guided to find those things that help you accomplish what you took birth to achieve. And so that means that the goddess provides you with needs, wants, and delights. Let me say that again. The goddess provides you with what you need, and with what you want, and with what occurs in your life that you just go, oh my goodness, that's so beautiful. This is the roses this morning. Those are delights of my life that, pretty much I feed them and I water them, and then they do this. And that is the delight of the goddess. Nurturing creation also means that you are guided. Now, the way we are guided initially is through intuition, where we something pops in, like I should go there, or I should call this person. So that's the first level. Then there are many, 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 many levels of guiding until it gets to the place where she picks you up and puts you where you need to be. That is usually at least disconcerting and sometimes painful. But it's because you haven't listened to all the things that came ahead of that. So there are many, many classes that you can take to nurture your ability to listen to your intuition. And I firmly suggest that you do that, because when you get in the habit of knowing what that small inner voice sounds like and then following it, things happen much easier, and the guidance that you get is more and more and more consistent. Then finally, the mother challenges us. If we are reluctant or thick-headed, and we need that 2x4, what happens is that it feels like a real challenge when it is put in front of us. And so there's this saying that I really believe in, and that is that the goddess comforts the afflicted and afflicts the comfortable. What that means is, if you are hurting, she is there to comfort you. But if you have sat in the same place too long and are too comfortable, she is going to afflict you. Not because she doesn't like you, but because she loves you and wants to help you achieve what you took birth to achieve. So we need to work with that generous energy so that that we can be divinely guided and we don't have to be challenged like this, okay? So this is what nurturing looks like. Next, we're going to talk about how to gather all the nurturing you can. Wouldn't that be nice? If you could, if it's true, and I believe it is, that an infinite amount of nurturing is available to you, wouldn't it be nice to be able to open up and have some more of it? Okay, so here's what we do. First of all, we assume that life is for you. Life is for me. Life is on our side. If we get the gift of affliction, many of us interpret it as attack. It's like life is just not working for me. Or, you know, I'm having a really bad day. Or a really bad era. And it's not because the infinite wants to attack us or wants to annoy us. It's because we are getting the gift of affliction because we're staying in the same place too long, or we're not catching the divine inspiration for what we should be doing so that we can be supported instead of kicked. So if you could adopt this, that everything happens for your benefit. Everything happens for your benefit. So, since I've seen you, Paul and I went overnight up to Mendocino. And we went on a walking tour of Mendocino. And so we heard the story of how gold and logging kind of came together. And it's actually the story of an affliction. So what happened was that in 1848, gold was discovered in California. And so lots and lots and lots of people just swarmed into California to hunt for gold. And people need services, right? They need things like plates and forks. And so what happened, unless you eat with your hands, but still, plates and forks and ale, that was another big thing they needed. So not too long after these scores and scores of people came to California to hunt for gold, there was a ship from China that came over bringing plates and forks and ale. But the Mendocino coast is not conducive to landing. It's very, very rocky, kind of far out from the shore. And so the ship was wrecked on the rocks. And because it was so close to shore, I don't think that there was a lot of loss of life, but the boat was completely destroyed. So the captain, thinking that there must be an opportunity here, rowed 8 days to San Francisco. So he rode to San Francisco and then I think immediately went to a pub and talked to some people about this ship that was wrecked but not sunk on the Mendocino coast and had a lot of ale in it along with plates and forks. Well, you imagine that they were more interested in the ale. So there was a party that started out from Mendocino, but of course there were no roads. There was nothing but forest. So they made their way through the forest, but not arriving for 8 months because the rainy season happened right after that. So 8 months later, they got to the boat, and and everything was not usable. The boat was like, toothpicks. It had broken up with the storms. But as they went back to San Francisco, kind of dejected, they went through the same forest again. And they looked at the redwoods and started thinking, this is where the money is, in the redwoods. And it became absolutely true that much more money was made by the logging up the coast than in the gold. And so all kinds of things were discovered and built and managed on that rocky coast, including this. This is how people got to Mendocino from that boat, because the boat could not get close to shore because of the rocks. But they figured out a way to pull groups of people. Now, this guy is standing on a platform over the sea. They did have a cage here around women and children. But this is what we learn how to do when the goddess has a goal in front of us. So, back to that first idea, assume life is for you. And if you have a shipwreck, look around you. The next is develop absolute receptivity. You don't have to we can't make things happen. We can't. But things come to us as a gift. So I have another story about this. Many of you know Melissa Felipe and Z. Egloff. They were here doing a Sunday not too long ago. So 5 days after my wedding in my backyard, we gave them an ordination in my backyard with the same, pretty decorations and everything. So we ordained Z and Melissa. So they decided that for the symbol of their ordination, they chose rings that were a part of the ceremony about putting the rings on. And each one of them had a very symbolic ring for them. So I'm going to tell you the story of Melissa's ring, which was a gold ring with garnets in it and an inscription on the inside. So the inscription read, "You have no idea." And the story for that is that when she was in ministerial school, there was a very, very bad period where people treated her badly, she felt, and it was really not going well, and she was unhappy, and she went to the beach very upset and just kind of screamed at the infinite, saying, "Do I have to go to ministerial school?" Then she said in this booming voice, so maybe it was the goddess, with a really big voice, she said, "You have no idea." And the way Melissa took that in two ways. First of all, you have no idea how good it's going to be, and you little numbskull, have no idea what you're doing. And so she took both of those connotations as divine support and applied herself in ministerial school, and now she's got a career that she never imagined with a mate that she loves to death, and the inscription inside her ordination ring that says, "You have no idea," meaning that if she doesn't have the idea, the goddess does. So that, I think, is a really, really good example of receptivity. So what I want us to, the saying that I want for those of you that are taking notes, this is not on the PowerPoint, so I want you to remember this. And that is, whatever it is, this is here, it must be good. Let's say that together. This is here, it must be good. That's exactly the kind of receptivity I want for all of us. This is here, it must be good. If you just took that as your mantra, everything would be good. And then lastly is be over the top grateful. Because if you think about it, the goddess gives you what you need, what you want, and what will delight you. And if you were thankful for your needs being met, for your wants being provided, and for your delights, just shake your head with amazement that it's all there. I have been married for, I can't count the days. I've tried to count the days, and Joyce Ripp said, "You're trying to do math on Sunday." And I said, "No, it's not even math. I can't even count." But it was a week ago Tuesday. And every day we have been so mystified at our blessings. I mean, able to accept and absolutely grateful, and more comes. So that's what happens when you're over the top grateful. So I'm going to conclude the talk part after I review this with you with a wonderful poem written by Bobby McFerrin, of all people, and it's a feminine take on the 23rd Psalm. But this is really all you have to do. Assume life is for you, develop absolute receptivity and over-the-top gratitude, and your life will absolutely flourish, and you will get to do what you came to do. And believe me, doing what you came to do is deeply fulfilling. It's not hard. It's deeply fulfilling when you get the hang of it. All right, here is the 23rd Psalm by Bobby McFerrin. The Holy One is my shepherd. I have all I need. She makes me lie down in green meadows. Beside the still waters she will lead. She restores my soul. She rights my wrongs. She leads me in the path of good things and fills my heart with songs. Even though I walk through a dark and dreary land, there is nothing that can shake me. She has said she won't forsake me. I am in her hand. She sets a table before me in the presence of my foes. She anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, surely, goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in her house forever, forever and ever. Glory be to our mother and daughter, and to the Holy of Holies, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Just taking that feeling and turning within, and feeling that the Divine Mother is right behind us and like spooning us, wrapped around, arms and legs of the Mother wrapped around us, whispering in our ear, "You are my beloved. You are my beloved. You are my beloved. I will fill your life with the manifestation of your needs. I will grant you all that you want, and I will delight you with greater things than you can imagine. I am here for you. I will guide you. I will direct you. I will never leave you. I am here for you because I created you, and I love you. You are mine forever, and I support your joy. I support your ecstasy. I support your fulfillment, now and forever. And when you take your last breath, it is into my arms you will come. Blessed be.
has the world in her heart, healing the pain with arms of love. Madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón. Madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, curando el dolor con abrazos de amor. Curando el dolor con abrazos de amor. Madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón. Con abrazos de amor.
Try it with us.
Curando el dolor, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, con abrazos de amor. Madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo, madre que tiene el mundo en su corazón, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, con abrazos de amor, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, curando el dolor, con abrazos de amor.
Thank you. It's a song written by Barbara. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Hi, I'm Gaelen Cooper, a licensed practitioner in this community and a member of the Prosperity Corps. Bodie, Barbara, thank you so much. That was great. Thank you. Look at those roses. Oh my God, beautiful, beautiful. And in listening to the sermon today, you know, was provided for providing, besides care, providing. And I have to say, grateful, and I'm way grateful. So I'm grateful that my husband for Mother's Day bought me this iPad that I could put a picture of what I'm supposed to say on it, so that I don't sit there like when it was a few weeks ago where Karyl was like, it's Gaelen. So I'm like, oh my God, it's to me doing the offering today, and I didn't have my notes or anything. So now I have my notes, and I see that it's 10 seconds. So I'd like to have the ushers come forward. Okay, this is great. Frank Lang, okay, there you are. I remember you told me you were usher. Great, come on up. Okay. Oh, Mother's Day is really special to me because Mark and I waited. First, Mark and I met when I was 23. And I thought, oh, good, it's him now. And it didn't turn out that way. So when I was 36, it was him then. And that's when we had Morgan. So I waited a long time. So I'm very grateful that with some help of some acupuncture that I was able to have Morgan. So anyway, all right. In my pocket is here we go. All right. If you would put your hands over your heart, great. And you guys, if you wouldn't mind accepting the offering, I give out of inspiration, not necessarily obligation, but go ahead, and these guys are going to provide us with some beautiful music. Okay, you get to-
Oh, Mother, Mother, let love be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let love be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, let joy be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let joy be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, let beauty be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let beauty be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, let purpose be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let purpose be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Love. Oh, Mother, Mother, let love be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let love be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Joy. Oh, Mother, Mother, let joy be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, let joy be with us. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things. Oh, Mother, Mother, Mother of all things.
If you would say with me now, this gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I give it all things. It is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. So it is.
All right, it's time for announcements, and I would like to especially thank the altar team this morning. Any of you who have ever done an altar, would you please stand? So many of these people are on our current altar team. Some have been on our past altar team. Some are substitutes for the altar team. But every week, for years and years and years and years and years, We have had an amazing, beautiful altar that expresses the theme of the morning. And so it was Marsha's altar this morning, and I want to thank all of you so much. So next is Woman Spirit Rising. Registration traditionally opens on Mother's Day, and it is open today. It is designed to be registered online, correct? Or you have to go online to get a form. And then it is going to be September 12th to the 16th at Rivers Bend Retreat Center, and it's the rebirth of Woman Spirit. And it's got a new committee and it's got new people, but it has its roots in the Woman Spirit for 25 years, and it's wonderful. So go online, get a form, and register. And Lori has flyers. You want to stand up and show them your cute new scarf?
What is this? This was
So the next announcement is about the video system. And Sarah, are you going to make this announcement? Who's going to make this announcement, please? Somebody. It's good, thank you. I knew it was you. Or I hoped it was you. You're the one that knows about it.
Surprises abound. We depend on a wonderful volunteer team to do the streaming every week. And many people who can't be here benefit by having that. It turns out our equipment is aging and needs to be refurbished and renewed and actually replaced. So we need a new laptop, and if anybody has a Mac you're not using that might be useful, talk to Tom, but hopefully we'll get a new one. And we also need a new camera. Combined, that's about $3,000. So that's where you come in. We have a box over on the table for you to contribute your offerings to the support the committee. I think that's it. Okay.
Where exactly is the box?
Right here on the education table. A clear box. So
there it is. There. It's
Vanna.
Thank you, Amanda.
Vanna.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Tom.
Two things. One is we're doing good on doing an archive that goes to YouTube, but the streaming is about getting bad and worse. A few weeks ago, it would be shutting down. You'd have to reboot the video to get it back up. Today, it's not even streaming at all. I am getting an archive, so the equipment is still not really getting the job done. Two, there's a rumor that Dan DiPaolo has a suggestion that we'll cut the cost down considerably, down to maybe $1,500. Actually, about $2,000, including the camera. So.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. If you're called to contribute, we thank you in advance. Next, it's time for the Taurus birthday people. So if you little bulls out there would like a present from your spiritual community, you get a form over here at the practitioner table. It's like a spiritual checkup, and you check what you want, and then you turn it over, and there are a number of practitioners on the back. You call one of them, and you'll get it. Simple as that. Happy birthday. Soundscape Oasis. Bodhi is doing another wonderful Soundscape Oasis on May 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Creekside Villa in Fairfax, so you're all invited. And Leslie Gianetti is doing, by special request, back again, the Power of Spiritual Mind Treatment workshop, and that is going to be on June 10th. Then I am giving 3 workshops to finish up my time with you. In 2 Sundays from now is the spoon bending, and there's a lot of people. There's 20 people that have signed up. It's closed. If you really, really want to come, see me. I have the list, but the other two about conscious conclusions and how to download a talk from Spirit, those are coming in July. And so the sign-ups will be available to you right away, but you can see what the date is. So those are the announcements. Anything else anybody has that I feel like I'm getting up to speed after being away for a bit, but yes. Hello, hello, hello. Katrina's here. Thank you for being here today, Katrina. So my blessing for all of you today is to consciously connect with the Great Mother and let her love and support your life. And as always, Spirit is your guide. Please stand now for our affirmation and closing song. Right up here, I open myself to the never-ending generosity of the divine feminine principle. I open to her guidance, her love, and her challenges. I know that wherever I go, through time and dimensions, I am safe in her arms always.
Of the mother, I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. Sing out both parts, yeah. Sing it till you can hear it. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with the God. One more time. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love.